Hey friends, it's Kathy, wife, mom, cancer survivor, and a big believer that you don't have to be perfect, you just have to show up. This is Perfectly Imperfect Conversations, where we talk with real people about what it means to keep showing up every single day through the good, the messy, and everything in between. Showing up when it's not easy, because the truth is, strength isn't about never failing, it's about getting back up again and again. A conversation with Terry M. Welcome to my very first somewhat official Perfectly Imperfect Conversations. Thank you for being my first, I guess, right? So
Yeah,
I'm so
wow,
excited.
I'm impressed and I'm
I'm so
happy.
excited, right? I'm so
Yeah.
excited today because I get to talk with someone who really understands what it means to show up, even when life and business throws your curveballs. Terry is a wife, mom-in-law, grandma, and an entrepreneur that has so many entrepreneurial hats. Who's built success by doing the small things consistently over time. She's a believer in personal growth, faith, and taking action, even when it's messy. Terry, thank you for being here and for showing up for this conversation as you always do. I'm going to
And
jump into,
messy it is.
yeah,
Sorry.
messy it is, right? I'm
Yeah.
going to jump into all your entrepreneurial hats right now because there's a lot of them. And I want everybody to understand how much you really do and how much you're committed to and that you show up every single day. So you own your own Airbnb. You're an independent brand partner with Neora. You wrote and published a book this year. You joined the group of 262 women called Mission Accepted that took you to Hollywood, Oscars, and Emmys this year. You're part of a team creating your Beauty and Balance series. You are a part of another group that is creating tools to assist in promoting and building the business. And you are also jumping into coaching where you're guiding women to find calm, confidence, and radiance in a pressure world. That is a lot of moving pieces. How do you show up for it all?
It was a dream of mine to actually get to this point, and it was a goal about 3 years ago, and I've now made it to this point. And I couldn't have done it, honestly, without all the personal development that has come my way over the last 15 years or so. Uh, I make it a point to I have my favorite books. I have three favorite books that I read every year. And and then yes, personal development, learning how to uh, try and keep balance, but not to worry about the messy stuff. It can be messy as long as you show up and keep showing up. And our mentor, Jeff Olson, said, if you show up, you're 90% there. And that has been so profound for me to just show up.
Absolutely, I totally agree. So I want to jump into the first three things that I mentioned. Um, and eventually we'll go through all of them because there's a lot. And understanding the moving parts in all of them is important. But I
Mhm.
thought today we'll just jump into the first three.
Okay.
Um, your Airbnb. I had the pleasure of staying there a little while
Mhm.
back. Loved
You
it.
did.
It's cozy, comfortable, well stocked, and beautiful scenery all around. That takes quite a bit of your time. What made you decide to have an Airbnb and how long have you had it?
Uh, that was pre-COVID when we bought this home, and I had this big garage and I had a shop. So my husband had a shop, and now I get a garage. And I parked in it for one winter, and I just couldn't do it. I worked in the building industry at the time, was in there for 17 years. So there's this little side of me that's always looking at things differently than probably most. And I knew this could be a really good Airbnb. So I bought a kitchen online and on Facebook, brought the kitchen and kind of set out how to do it. And then I designed the Airbnb. And it's been really lucrative for us. And it's been handy to have during COVID. We didn't have an Airbnb per se, but we did rent to people that were displaced in the real estate industry. Real estate went nuts during COVID, and people were getting caught between transactions. So it was full a lot of the time. And then my daughter lost her job during COVID. She was an esthetician. She went into nursing. She stayed in there for her and my grandson. And then we went back out, and it's still working today. And it's not a lot of work. I love it. I love my guests, 100%.
I love that. I know I stayed there. I think my leg was still in a brace. Sleep was pretty much non-existent. And I love how you have it all set up and stocked, and it's just so like so cozy. Um, because sleep was non-existent, when I climbed into the bed, I was literally like hugged by the pillow and the duvet cover and everything. And it was just like, oh my God, it's like I'm getting this hug. And I think that was the best sleep I had in a very long time. I still woke up, but it was amazing. Where is your Airbnb?
It's right next door to me. It's my garage.
And where is
And
that?
oh, you're talking location.
Yes, I
Yes,
am.
we are nestled in the Valley of Kamloops, BC. We're not kind of located in between mountains. We have the Rockies are probably about an hour and a half away from us. And Kamloops is sort of the hub of British Columbia. All the highways meet up in Kamloops, the railway. So it's been good for us to be here, and
Yeah,
that's where it is. Mhm.
it's wonderful. I remember sitting outside on the deck, and I was just like loving the scenery. It was, yeah, it was very relaxing.
Mhm.
Okay, now you are also a brand partner with Neora, and you're going on
I
10
am.
years. We actually
Yes.
met because of Neora, and that is um one of the most things I love about this company is the people that you meet, the friendships that you make, and how long lasting they've become. I would love to know why you started with Neora and why you're still here 10 years later.
It's a bit of a story. I have never dabbled in multi-level marketing, network marketing, anything like that. And I wish I had learned about it sooner. I probably would have jumped into this world of network marketing sooner. But what happened was I was helping out my daughter's friend, and she was selling it, and I don't know, just felt like I was going to help her out. I didn't realize that I was actually becoming a business partner at the time. I thought that I just signed up and that's how it worked. I had no idea, and I knew that the product would come to my through my mail. Um, I didn't really, I was in, we were in the middle of a big home renovation at that time, and I really wasn't paying attention to it at all. Uh, I think I actually quit at one point, but they never really took me right out of the system. So then in 2016, the home renovation was coming to a completion, but the date was July 22nd, 2016. I was diagnosed with the brain tumor, and that same day, my first grandchild was born, my grandson, Hudson. So it was the best day of my life, honestly, and it was the worst day of my life. And I knew Neora was coming out with this brain formula, or it was in the US, but it wasn't in Canada yet. And I decided to go to Las Vegas in 2016. They were having a convention there, 2000, no, 2018. I went to this convention, and that's when I met the scientists were there from Signum Biosciences. That's who developed this formula. They also developed the formulas for the creams that were on the market at the time, and I was just in love with the whole thing. I was introduced to a world I'd never seen before, and I loved every minute of it. I loved Vegas. I loved the whole thing, the convention, everything about it. You know what? Honestly, I've never missed a convention since, other than when we were down in COVID. I absolutely 100% go to them, and I get to see you every time I get. And the friendships and the commitment and and the connections. The products are all backed up by science, and we've had this long fight of, with the Federal Trade Commission to make everything right in the network marketing world, and we've made such big changes for everybody, and it's just been a a perfect company to have love and life with. It really was a blessing, and I'm still here, 100%. I wouldn't be here, I don't think, if it hadn't been for Neora and the tools that I had learned for personal development, number one, to get through all the things that we dealt with personally and daily, and then to have the backup for all our training and just so much support. I would never have made it through to this day, but I've always showed up. Sometimes I sit back a little bit, but I show up, and I'm still here 10 years later, holding hands with some of my best friends. It's awesome.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I say that too. Like I have quite a few stories with Neura and stuff and my health and everything else. And I actually always said I wanted nothing to do with it. Like when I was first introduced, I'm like, hell no. Like I want nothing to do with this. This isn't for me, blah blah blah. Like it was right. Yeah, like it was crazy. And then once I got in and I understood and I learned and I always say that Neura is a personal development company that
Mhm.
has some pretty freaking amazing products, like amazing products, right? That are changing people's lives. So we're both, I'm going on 10 years, you're going on 10 years, and we are at every conference, um, except for when we were in COVID, but we had them online. The
Mhm.
only conference that I missed was when I went into my third surgery for cancer, and that was Disneyland. My family was planning to come. We were all going, right? They were going to go to Disneyland for a couple of days while I was in conference, and then I was going to join them. And it just turned out that this whole cancer nightmare turned into a worse nightmare, and I couldn't go. But I made my family still go to Disneyland because I wanted them, I wasn't going to let them miss that. Like, that's just not, that wasn't a thing that was going to happen. And even though I was in the hospital right after my surgery, I had several people literally FaceTime me from conference. So I didn't, right? I was still watching it, um,
Oh,
and kind of sort of participating, but I wasn't there in person. And I think that's the only one I've missed. I, yeah, right. Like, and it's such an incredible feeling when you're there surrounded with same, people that push you and cheer you on and always back you up and show up for you just like you show up for, right? So
yeah.
I'm still here and I don't plan on going anywhere either. The personal development has literally um, kept me through this whole journey. My health wasn't great when I started. My mindset wasn't that great when I started. But now, like, I've learned so much about myself. I'm a better person. I'm a better wife. I'm a better mom, and a better friend because of it, right? Like, and I think we all feel that. So I love that. Okay. So
Mhm.
the third thing we're going to talk about, right, is your book. That's pretty exciting. It's called The Squeeze Effect. What made you decide to write a book? And what is the squeeze effect all about?
Well, I got my little wake up call. We all think we're rock stars, especially if we're in the world of health and fitness and whatnot. Um, I thought I was in really quite fit and okay. I grew up in two health, or, health food stores. We had health food stores when I was growing up. We grew up on a farm and we lived off the land, and we did not go to a grocery store. We never did. I don't even recall ever being in a grocery store when I was growing up. Uh, we were basically vegetarian because we ate what we grew. We didn't have any animals. There was a turkey farm behind us, so we ate a lot of turkey soup over the years. But and it was, I never felt like I missed out. And then at 50, I ran a marathon in Hawaii. It was a goal of mine. I said I was going to do it, and I committed to it, and I did it, of course. And then a few years later, it was not long ago, really, maybe 3 years ago. I was hiking with my son and grandson in Sedona, and I fell and I did some major damage to my foot, my ankle, but I didn't go to a doctor right away. I was in the US. I had insurance, but I didn't want to lose my house in Canada over going to a hospital. And we'll go back to that in a sec. I came to Canada, came back about a week later, and I went straight to the hospital because my ankle was not happy. And I got in, and they take your vitals and whatnot there in triage. And she said to me, the nurse on duty said, "You're what medications do you take?" They wanted me to list it off, and I said, "I don't take any medications." I kind of anti that way, really careful about taking lots of medications. And she said, "Well, no heart medications or anything like that." And I said, "No." And she said, "You're here for your ankle." I said, "Yeah, and I am. I should have been probably seen a week ago." She goes, "Mm-mm. Honey, you are in so much trouble right now. You are on the verge of a heart attack." And I said, "What?" She said, "Uh-huh. You're not going home till your heart breaks down or your blood pressure's down." And that was a wake-up call because I was going to write a book um, before this accident. I was going to write on menopause, which has been so overdone for me now anyway. But what isn't being spoke about is women after menopause become very susceptible to heart attack. And if they have a heart attack, most women don't survive it. Men tended to survive it, but women won't. And the reason why is because we go home and we don't lay on a couch for 2 weeks and have it be catered to. We go home, start doing laundry, cooking dinners, the whole 9 yards again, right? And so, and I didn't realize when I started studying this, so there's 7 generations on the planet right now that are actually thriving. There's the Great Generation, which everybody forgets that, yeah, they're over 100, but they're here. And then there's the Silent Generation, the people that grew up in the 40s who they'd had this wonderful life where the kids would play outside till it was dark and come home. And then they left home at 16, 17, 18 and didn't come back and raised their own kids and didn't have them grandparents helping them out for daycare and all that kind of stuff. So you get now, and then we've got kids at home that can't buy homes, so it's too expensive, and we've got their kids here, and even in our house alone, there's 4 generations sitting here. And then I have my mother-in-law who is from the silent generation. She's just down the street, and we have her basically. So you feel very squeezed. And as the caregiver, hello, we're getting crunched and we're all having heart attacks at a phenomenal rate. 4 times more women pass away from heart attacks than all the cancers combined. So it's a it's a pandemic globally. It's not just North America, it's global. And homelessness for the elderly is growing at a phenomenal rate because we just can't support everybody. When the governments knew this was going to happen and now we're here, the money's not there. The money that we had put into and all our social security, social insurance, whatever it is, that's spent. So it's a reality, and we need to learn how to keep balance in our life, protect us, protect ourselves, our heart, make us number one and not feel guilty about it. And I teach that in the book and coach it now to help. It breaks my heart when I hear somebody's passed away from a heart attack because it's happening more and more now that I'm getting to this age group, and it could have been prevented. So I even change one person's life, it would be all worth it to me, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
Mhm.
love that. Um, it is, it's sad. It's really sad
Mhm.
what's going on out there. And as you know, as moms, we always take care of everybody else, right? We put ourselves on the back burner. And sometimes when something happens, it's definitely a wake up call that, we need to be taking better care of ourselves because we're not healthy and strong, and what can we do for, for anybody else. So that is really important. I love that. And how can we get your book?
You can get it through me or you can get it on Amazon. Um, I like to be able to coach through the book. And I've have 7 different stories of women that have felt the squeeze, and they have different recipes in there in the stories that I grew up with and shared a bit. But really, the real heroes there are my mom and my grandma, who had health food stores and they taught this stuff all their lives. And they're past now, and it's like their legacy. And it was about 2.5 years ago, I was sitting at my desk and I was unhappy. I was not where I needed to be, and I knew it. So finally, I walked away, sat down the next day, and started writing. And it's been a great journey. I wish I could be more. I think there'll be another book. I know there will be another book, and there'll probably be, I hope 1 or 2 more. But this one, yes. And I'm going to a big event tomorrow and sharing it. It's all ties back to New York, to be honest. Uh, all the pillars are based on another, very similar to what they have, called the 10
Core commitment.
core commitments. Yes, very similar. Most personal development is based on some very core things that we have, but in this case, it's a little bit different because we tend to feel very guilty when we take out 20 minutes in the morning or 20 minutes in the evening and close that bathroom door and brush our hair and whatever while the rest of the family is pounding on the door or yelling for something. And you're thinking, no, I'm not gonna feel guilty. And that's one of the things I teach. It's called your bookends. First thing in the morning, first thing at night, spend 20 minutes on either side, close that door, ignore everybody, and spend that time for yourself, for self-care. And even if you just stand there and cry, whatever, I don't care. But I set the timer to make sure I stay there for 20 minutes because I tend to rush. And then I've only been there like 5 minutes and I'm thinking I need to go do this. Oh, no, 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 I'm not leaving.
It's perfect.
Well, the bathroom's all clean, but so what? Sparkly.
I've been there. I've been there. It's for
Yeah,
sure.
but it's your time, right?
Yeah,
You walk out, you've got your face cream on, your hair is done, and your bathroom sparkles. It was 20 minutes. That's right.
I
And
love
life
that.
is good.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, so just in these three things, there's a lot of moving parts, right?
Mm,
And we
mm.
haven't even covered the other four. I think there's four.
No,
Yeah, there's other four.
no.
Okay, so what does showing up look like for you when life isn't perfect?
Oh gosh. Uh, Let me give you an example. This morning, I forgot this call, honestly. Well, no, my calendar was wrong. It was an hour off. You're in Mountain Time. I'm in Pacific. And yeah, it's an hour off. I always get the time zones wrong. Um, so there, number panic. What? I'm supposed to be on now? No makeup right now. Haven't done my hair. Just quickly, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And but I have
Because
a
I did
meeting that
offer to do it at another time. I said, we can do it another time. And you said,
no,
nope, we're doing it now.
no, we're gonna show up. We're gonna do this. Show
Yeah.
up, stand up, speak up. And that's another thing that I'm taught with the 262 women is that's what it's all about, showing up, standing up, and speaking up and protecting women, ourselves, and speak up about cancer as you do. And I'm just loving that you're sharing your story to the world as you go through it, because I'm sure there are hundreds of other women doing the same thing. You all have families. and trying to deal with what you're dealing with and still keep that family core together, it's very difficult and challenging, I'm sure. I can't imagine. So get up at 4:45 a.m., drive to the yoga studio. A lot of people say, why do you do that? I was, well, number one, I committed to the yoga studio to clean for a half hour before and after class. That way I get unlimited hot yoga. But bigger is I need to show up because they're relying on me to clean before and after. And that's why I signed up. That made me give me that little bit of extra commitment because it'd be too easy to say no.
Right. Yeah.
And
So
so once again, it's easy to do and easy not to do. Yeah. And
absolutely.
that is multi-level marketing, 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then come back, and then by then, with the family is awake, and you're walking into a dog that's barking its head off, and husband asking me questions about what he needs to do for his mom, my mother-in-law, because she's had just come home from being very ill, and so I actually need to phone an eye doctor today for her. So there's all these different wheels going, right? And it's messy, honestly. But if I can just keep the core routine, there are non-negotiables that have to happen every day. And then everything else can just sort of fall into cracks and it happens. And that's what we're taught to do through our company. Neora has taught us to do that. And it's awesome. It's a
Yeah.
good life skill to have.
Absolutely. Okay. Can you think of a time when consistency paid off even before the results showed up?
Daily. Lots of different things. I have been consistent with me, consistent where the results have not showed up yet. Is that
Hmm.
what you're saying?
So yeah,
Uh,
consistency paid off even before the results showed up.
no. Well, the results, I think we should give ourselves grace and enjoy the process
Hmm.
because actually the results are happening daily if you are being consistent, no matter what you're going for. I remember there was a uh, when I was training for, well, for an example, I won this draw to go into a cycling race, and it was from Vancouver to Whistler. It's called the Grand Bondo. And I'm not no, I don't, I'm not that big of a cyclist where I've got my fancy little outfits or anything like that. And this is kind of a funny story, actually. So a girlfriend of mine says, well, I'll do it with you. And so me and her just like, okay, let's do this. That's just our attitude. They had nothing to do. Oh my God, we can't do this. Or oh my God, we got to train for hours and hours. We didn't. We were already runners fairly consistently. So we got on our bikes each weekend for about 4 weekends, and then we went to Vancouver, drove down to Vancouver with our bikes that were no fancy bikes, just an $800 road bike or whatever that we had that was used that we bought, and it was hot. I remember it was a forest fire season. There were a lot of fires, and we get into this race, and it's pouring rain, and we weren't ready for it. So we're in this race. You know what we did to stay warm, and we learned this through running, is to put a garbage bag over you to keep the heat in. So we're riding our bikes with all these fancy riders with these garbage bags flapping away. Boy, to lifted to the ski hill. Whistler did it. Wasn't pretty. Um, but the consistency of showing up and doing it paid off because yeah,
Yeah.
did it. And yeah, that bike's still sitting in the shed. I haven't really rode it. That was a few years ago. But that's me. And I just say, yeah, I don't say no to opportunity very often either. If opportunity arises, I could have given that pass to somebody else. I thought, no, I'm doing it.
Good for
It's a
you.
story, right?
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you stay grounded when you feel overwhelmed or off track?
That's where yoga comes in. It really does. And I wish I could say I get outside and go for a walk, but I don't. I know I'm supposed to walk 20 minutes a day apparently to lose my weight, and I'm not consistent with that. But I do like to close the door. Like I said, I walk away, go to the washroom, spend 10 minutes, just get alone for a minute. And I do this too, just to switch gears, in here, even if I'm focused on something on a project in the computer, then I'll stop and then I'll either go lay down on my mat on the floor. I won't go to the bed. I'll lay down on the mat, the yoga mat. I have it at the end of my bed because then I'll actually probably do some stretching and stuff rather than just lay in the bed. And I try and put my feet up on the bed and get my legs up.
Hmm.
And those are just very simple little habits that I've created for myself to create more of a healthy, rather than because I used to go to the kitchen a lot, snack all day long. As soon as I feel a little bit of anxiety, I'm up there in the kitchen again, and yeah, you know, stuff this stuff. Yeah, that's what I do.
That's good. What's one habit or mindset that helps you show up for your family and yourself? We kind of went into a little bit of that, but just a little bit more like just what is it that, that one habit that really gets you to make sure that you're there for your family and you're there for yourself?
The 7 pillars that I write about are very basic things that are consistent daily that I do, like drink water,
Mhm.
very, very basic. Eat healthy. I don't buy junk food. There is no junk food in the house. They have to go buy it themselves if they want it. I won't spend my money on it and I won't buy it. I won't. Um, Most of our food is from me cooking. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy to maybe buy a pizza or something like that because to me it's just not food. That's not how I was raised, right? So, and I can put a lot of pressure on myself that way. I kind of regret that. And sometimes I get very resentful of that because I'm spending 2 hours every day cooking meals when how come these people that are in the house that are perfectly capable and old enough, it should be cooking. So I need to delegate that more and then they know how to do it. I teach them. So that is something that, okay, aside from that, we won't go down that rabbit hole, but it's a diet, exercise. I'm consistent with my yoga and keeping myself healthy that way. And I watch, and because I do these kind of things, you're very aware of your body.
Mhm.
And you know when you need to sleep, and you know when you need to rest, and you know when you need to holiday and go on a convention for New York.
Right? Absolutely. It's a
I
great,
actually, our best holidays, family holidays, have been around New York conventions. Because I
yeah,
remember you saying Disneyland. Well, that convention cost me a fortune because the whole family went down there and had a blast
yeah,
at Disneyland. Yeah. So, but we've had some great holidays based around New York's conventions, especially the LA ones.
yeah. So I know because with everything that's going on with my leg and that still, um, last year, 2 years in a row now, I had to bring Nicole with me. And she now is like, I'm coming. Like every time you're going, I'm coming. Like she doesn't want to miss it, right? Because she just sees how much fun we have and what, the whole thing. So I love that. Like I think that is just because they're so family oriented, right? Like it's all about
Yeah.
family. So yeah, I love that too. So okay, if someone's watching this feels stuck or discouraged, what would you tell them?
Call me. Let's get you through this.
Yeah.
Let's give you some tools so that you become unstuck and without guilt. That's the thing. It's the guilt that gets women. They feel guilty if and then that guilt gets them. And I don't want that guilt to get you. You're allowed to have this stuff. You're allowed, you know, to have fun.
Mhm.
You're allowed to have nice skincare. You are allowed to. dress nicely. You don't, it doesn't take a lot of money. It doesn't take money. Even to have the skincare. Heck, we can make money at it rather than spend money. Clothing. I don't really particularly like going into the stores or online. I like to go to used clothing stores or the consignment shops. I love doing that kind of stuff. Always find something.
Yeah.
Some of my nicest stuff is from a consignment store for sure. And yeah, you're allowed to have that.
We all are.
That is my
Absolutely.
suggestion. That's
Yeah.
the yeah. Conversations. Reach out to people.
Mm.
Find groups. Find people that have something in common. I don't care. A dog. If you have a dog, there's somebody else down the street's got a dog. Put it out there that you want to have a walking club in
Yeah.
the morning, in the early morning. I would like that out here because it's dark at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to be by myself. We got cats that are big cats.
Yes.
And I don't want to come across one of those alone or bears or whatever we got out there. Lots, or it's just safer.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, what is your book called? So if anybody, wants to
I have
reach
the
out.
book here called The Squeeze Effect. And it's just that you're feeling squeezed financially, emotionally, physically, and you're gonna be. We're going to be. We just need the tools of how we're gonna live and adjust to that so that we're not stressed.
Awesome. I will also
Mhm.
put that in the thing. So if anybody wants to get your book or reach out, um, if they reach out to
Yeah, I'll
me
give you a
or
link.
yeah, yeah, we can
I'll
do
leave
that.
a
So
link for you. Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me and being my first
No, it's been fun.
guest.
Always fun to be talking to you. I'm
Um,
glad.
yeah, this was
I'm
wonderful
honored
actually.
that you thought I could be first.
No, I love that. So if today's conversation reminded you that progress doesn't require perfection, would you share it with someone who needs a little encouragement today? I'm so grateful you're here. Keep showing up imperfectly, consistently, and with faith that it's all adding up for you. Until next time, remember you're proof that showing up works. Thank you so much for being here, Terry. And we'll be
Thanks
doing
for
this
having me.
again because we have four more things to go over that are on your plate.
Thank you for having me. You're the best.